And what we'll do is we'll look at the PMH that he has specs out there for. And what we will do is we will do experiments with the PMH. He mentions that the PMH can be used for several different things, and one of those things would be a transformer. I don't know. He mentions a lot of things, but we'll get into doing the experiments with the PMH, and we'll use it as a transformer and as the other 3 or 4 different things that he mentions. What I want to do is build the box, set up the power, get into the wheel, build the box, get the wheel turning, and then we'll really have fun, because what we'll start doing is incorporating the several PMHs, and we'll use them for different things. High voltage step up, maybe, just it would be more like a flyback, and then we'll get into doing different experiments with the different PMHs. We're going to go ahead and use them to several things. Is one thing that I read that I like is the fact that a capacitor will reverse its poles through discharge, and it'll fill up with the opposite pole. So the saltwater capacitors we have here are monopolar. I guess they don't really matter if one or the other plate, we'll call it, is a positive or negative, because it'll just reverse it. So they're reversing. So that's a great switch right there. So what I was thinking is, if we can get the wheel turning, and what I'd like to do is, one, the PMH could be coiled to where it signals the another PMH that comes off a capacitor that would fire up the other PMH, and when the capacitor flips its poles, the PMH would flip its poles. So what's going on is, if this is a positive and this PMH is a negative, when this positive is coming up to the PMH, it will draw to the PMH, and then that time the PMH will swap its poles. And as this thing is passing, that pole will push that away and attract it on the opposite side. So basically, we'd be doing something like this. So it's basically flipping its poles, and with the strength of these guys being fired up, I want to be efficient with this, and being efficient would mean I don't know in one particular application if I want to fill all these up with power, because it's that much power from a battery that needs to fill up all these coils. So I want to set it up to where I can fire up just the coil section per PMH. So if I had a PMH over here as a signal generator, then it would be fired up. As it's fired up, it's counter-reacting, firing to another PMH.